On this episode of the Totem Wellness Podcast, we are welcoming back Nikki Fraser. Nikki holds master's degrees in kinesiology and health psychology. And this episode will be talking about high-intensity interval training, best practices, and how to fit it into your weekly blueprint. Nikki, welcome back to the Totem Wellness Podcast. It's so great to have you here.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be back.
Our best guest from last year got the most.
Ever.
Sure, but
She's
it got the most.
Well, and we have to qualify best.
Right,
because
but
they're
got the
all
most
amazing.
views.
Of course.
The most viewed episode
But Nikki
in
won.
Totem
Let's
Wellness
just be clear.
Podcast history.
She won.
Yeah.
I almost never podium anything, so I'm super
Yeah.
excited
You
about
got
it.
Yeah, you got the gold
You got the
medal.
gold medal.
Let's just say you're the record holder.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Records
the
are made
record.
to be broken.
Gold medal and
okay.
record holder. No pressure.
All right, no pressure at all. It's going to be good.
It's gonna be good.
And so for you listeners, make sure you go back and check out
Yes,
Nikki's
that
episode
was
from
a good
season
one.
2.
Apparently was
it
amazing.
was the favorite.
Well, today you're back and
Yep.
we got much more to uncover. We're going to be, we covered a lot of really important stuff. Strength training last episode that you were on. And now we're going to dive into some wearables. We're going to talk about HIIT, and we're starting with that.
It's high intensity interval training. Some new research that has just come out.
Okay, so this is so exciting.
And you
Wow,
brought
that was-
props.
That was
I did.
very dramatic.
I know it is. So yeah, we could talk. Oh, I could talk till I'm blue in the face. But very exciting is actually just on Monday, I went to go speak in preparation for this podcast. I went to go speak with Dr. Jenna Gillen at U of T, who's doing research on peri and postmenopausal women, sedentary right now population, and so just a little like pump if you. They're still looking for participants, and it's such a great opportunity for
study.
women to
Great
like
study.
get a kickstart in their fitness. So I spoke with her. She is a exercise physiologist, and she is an expert in high intensity interval training. So some of the questions I wanted to ask her, just to make sure, like I have been giving advice to clients about high intensity interval training, specifically in terms of visceral adipose tissue, which is the fat that's in and around the organs. We know that high intensity interval training is really, really potent for increasing cardiorespiratory fitness. And we know that to be a marker of longevity and good quality longevity. And it's also one of the easiest things that we can change in ourselves. So, easiest, that's like easy to say, I guess.
Easiest when the short period of time is over.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, and then although that we don't understand the pathology completely, like with the mechanisms that are happening at the cell, there's obviously some theories as to what's happening, but high intensity interval training actually does tend to target visceral adipose tissue better than moderate intensity continuous training, otherwise known as MICT in the research. And it's a bit like a 45-minute. It's something you can do for 45 minutes like continuously, and then the high intensity interval training. And there's a few protocols that are regularly used. One is 10 by 1s. And this to me is like the easiest thing for people to start with. So always, though, you want to have a nice warm up. Like don't start your hard intervals with a cold body.
I kind of do that.
You know?
Yeah, don't do what we do.
I do that. I do that because I'm like crunch for time.
Oh, of course.
Bad way to do
even
it.
crunch. Yeah. So
Warm up.
okay, warm up 5 minutes, whatever that means to you, whether it's like just getting to that higher intensity or, doing some dynamic mobility. And then you hit the 1 minute intensity. And this can be doing anything. You can get on the treadmill. You can do hill repeats. You can walk between lampposts. Like it doesn't cycle, rowing, skier, squat jumps, like whatever. You just have to get your heart rate up. And ideally, like don't start here, but once you get into it, you want to get to be at about an 8 out of 10 on rating of perceived exertion. So that means you can talk a little bit, but you're not carrying on a conversation and you want it to end. So if you're doing a minute of hill intervals, let's just use that because it's easy. So you're running up the hill, 1 minute. If your coach is with you, like the only thing you can do is swear at them and that's it. There's
Like you're hating it.
nothing happening.
Yeah.
And then your minute's over and you recover. And that recovery can look different for everybody. I'm like, I'm going to take my recovery. I will stop, I will walk extremely slowly, and then you hit it again when that rest minute is up. So it's 1 minute on, 1 minute off, 10 times, and you cool down. So that's one super simple protocol. But like everything else in exercise, it doesn't have to be that. It can be like 10 seconds on. 20 seconds off.
Right. As you work up to it. It's interesting. And I'm finding this very interesting that as this research comes out, because the results are really exciting and they're showing a lot of longevity with the results. And I have my own story about this with my DEXA scan and my visceral fat that I decided I needed to do some things about. And so I went back to doing mile repeats, which I used to do them on the treadmill a long time ago. And I realized that I think this is a really important piece that I realized prior to doing all this testing. I work in the industry, I lift weights, I was active and appeared healthy.
Yeah.
Okay. And so you can go a long time with that. And you can go a long time saying, I'm lifting the same weights I was lifting, I'm doing just fine. But not be pushing yourself into that high heart rate, that zone 5 kind of a thing, because it's uncomfortable.
Totally.
We don't like it, right?
Yeah.
And that is what I found with these mile repeats. So obviously they're a lot longer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm way in zone 5 for a lot of minutes. It's like a HIIT workout for me, just a little bit longer time in a really high intensity. And I can't believe what a difference it makes on so many levels. And I can't believe that I used to be in that world and train like that. And I completely forgot what that was. I completely stopped doing it. Yeah. How long have you been doing it for?
So I like a long time, and it's because I like it. Like I gravitate towards that kind of training. I don't like it all the time. And I always want those minutes to end or those seconds or whatever.
Right.
So yeah, like probably since I was about 30, I guess.
Wow.
I don't know.
That's awesome. You're smarter
for
than
the
the
last
rest
2
of
years.
us.
What do you mean?
When you were 30, 2 years ago.
Oh, yes.
2 years ago.
It's been for 2 years. Correct. I'm like, what? Yeah.
It's awesome.
But to be honest, so like, not always. Like there has been years or times where I'm like, yeah, I'm plugging away and I haven't been doing my intensity
Right,
stuff.
because you're out walking, you're with the dog.
Yeah, I'm doing my thing.
You're thinking, I'm active, I'm good.
Yeah. I do remember one of my swim coaches a few years ago, and she was just like, she's so nice. And she's looking at me and like kind of puzzled in the pool. Like, she's like, what are you doing for cardio? And I'm like, look, I'm here. She's like,
I'm in this water right now.
What else? I'm like, okay, fair. I haven't been running. Like I was like, yeah, I haven't been, whatever. And she's like, maybe you should be doing. And I was like, oh, I guess I should.
She called me on it.
Yeah, for sure. And I was like, oh, she's probably right. I haven't really pushed myself outside of this one pool session, right? So anyway, yeah.
It's very exciting.
I think we gravitate. I gravitate towards it and always have.
Yeah.
So I was a anaerobic athlete, football, basketball. Basketball's got a little bit of endurance with it, but primarily anaerobic. Start, stop. That's what that means, basically. And then I did distance running at the end of university and for 5 years here. And it's just really boring for me. The distance running is boring. And so I finished that, didn't do anything really cardiovascularly planned out, but I started doing mile runs, right? So I'd start my workout, just do a mile, but a hard mile, right? Like not easy. And it was so incredible at how well that preserved my cardiovascular capabilities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
just
astonishing.
One mile.
It is astonishing.
Yeah. And it's a small in time of investment.
Yeah.
It's difficult.
Yeah.
Painful,
However, because
maybe.
it's so short, I'm not bored doing it.
Yeah.
And it's over fast.
Yeah.
And so if any listeners are thinking, well, man, I don't really like going and running for 40 minutes or the class that takes whatever.
To do it.
Don't have time to do it.
Yeah.
It's such an easy, efficient way of getting a really good quality workout.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more. I had something in my head to add to that, but totally.
We just did a podcast a while back on breath. And that also really stuck out to me because I've had so many years off of this and now I'm trying to do it again. And I've also got this tracker on. And when I watch my heart rate, it goes to 190. And it's because I'm in really bad shape to run a mile at a speed even remotely close to what I used to run at. And so you kind of hop on the treadmill and you know your old speeds from years ago and you're like, I should be able to do this.
Yeah.
And then I'm just not able to do it. Like lots of times I quit before the mile's done. And I'm kind of amazed at that. I'm using a long story to get to a point of when we talked about the breath work, Dr. Hoda talked about our diaphragm and the elasticity of that system. And that if you don't use it, you lose that elasticity and your diaphragm is a muscle and it loses the ability to bring the air in and pull the air out. And I realized it's not just, we use these words like I'm out of shape, but there's so many other systems. There's mitochondria.
Oh, yeah.
There is our diaphragm. There is our ability to do that oxygen transfer. We lose all of it if we don't do it.
Or you decondition.
Yeah.
Right. But it's on so many levels. And I think our society spends so much time thinking about what do you look like?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Not like how fast, if I ran up 4 flights of stairs, would I be okay?
Yeah.
And the answer for most of us is no, you wouldn't be because you haven't done this hard intensity type of training for a long time.
Yeah.
And so I love that you've laid it out. So we've got the 10-1 idea.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, you're finding that is working for you. Are you running? What are you doing? Or anything?
And I change it all the time. Like I don't follow a research protocol or anything like that. It kind of, I just decide on the day, like when was the last time I did HIIT? Okay, I better do it today. And I'll work it into something that I'm already doing.
Got it.
Or I can use it as a like a standalone workout, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm doing strength training and I haven't done any HIIT for a couple of days, then I know that I need to do a little bit and I'll do whatever I can in the time that I have available. So it might be outdoors when I'm doing a run, or it might be on a like hour and a half cycle. And I'm like, I'm bored and I'll do some HIIT then. And
love it.
Or just at the end of a strength workout or something like that. So the other thing is to think too, if you're going to do like a 10x1 or something, don't start with 10 intervals, right? If it's your first time,
Of
like
course.
go ahead and start with like 3.
3.
And even that we're fine. It was
3 minutes.
Yeah.
That's 6 minutes total.
That's
Great.
it. And we know there's a study, I'm sure you guys have heard of it. It's called VILPA, Vigorous, Intermittent Lifestyle Physical Activity. And so they found that people, this is just through wearing like self-trackers, and these are self-reported non-exercisers, when they had 3 to 4 minutes total of vigorous activity, just spontaneous activity in their day, whether it was like they had to run up the stairs or whatever it was. I don't know any of the statistics, but the paper is there in Nature. It's a significant decrease in all-cause mortality, cardiovascular disease, and these are like self-reported non-exercisers. So
that's great.
I mean, just, you say like, choose the stairs and go as fast as you can.
Run.
You're not going to like be like dripping with sweat and like got to change out of your suit. Yeah.
It's too short.
Yeah, just even those little pieces for people who are not exercising and then of course, I think it benefits everybody. So that's everyone. Like if you don't think you're an exerciser and you don't really know where to start, that's it. Like run up the stairs once during your lunch hour and
do some squats in a row if you're falling asleep at work.
Yeah.
Could be a way to do it. You do
Truly.
it often at the end of your weight workout, or are you doing it kind of?
My protocol right now is it's inside it.
Yeah.
And so it's 4 weight exercises, 1 minute interval, 4 weight exercises,
Awesome.
1 minute interval, et cetera. Like that. And then this is actually really fun if you consider exercise fun. Which most of our listeners hopefully do. We started to do this sort of modified high rocks thing, right?
Oh, yeah. Super fun.
Okay. We're picking 6 activities that are going to be pretty difficult to do on their own, but you only do them once. And then 2 minutes on whatever cardio piece we choose, treadmill. So we're doing 6 2-minute cardio treadmill intervals at whatever pace you're comfortable with. Once you've done the actual weight exercise, you're done with that thing. So it's a once and done weight thing, cardio.
Amazing.
And it's like 40 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like This is like so easy to wrap your head around.
Yeah.
You just need to know, it's 3 upperish kind of exercises, 3 lowerish kind of exercises, plus cardio. And it's like, that's the magic bullet.
That sounds like a great workout.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah.
These are interesting ideas, and you have your calendar here. And we now, because you have so much experience with this and you know the research, my next question was going to be, we need all the zones. We need the strength training. We know we need the strength training to be consistent. Otherwise, you're not going to get results. So we're kind of talking minimum 2 to 3 times a week of the strength training. What does the research say about this high intensity? How many days a week? And then how do we make it work in our beautiful calendar?
Okay. So if you're a researcher, they would not anyway. They probably say do what you can when you can do it, and that's what I would say as well. So most of the protocols in the research are either 2 or 3. I think typically it's a 3 time a week. So
3 times a week. Okay, so similar to strength training.
Yes,
you would want to get this in, and you could do it on the same day. You could do it with your strength training workout. That's fine. Yeah. So you could have 3 workout days a week or something like that.
You could. However, there's like a bit of a caveat. So if that's daunting to you, or you have other stuff going on, like there's other exercises that you enjoy or other activities, and you can't fit that in, that's okay. Like if you can fit in one HIIT, that's amazing. You're still going to
way ahead
benefit like completely. And also remember, like when we're looking at the research like projects, they typically follow into the semester time frame. So a lot of them are 12 weeks. So I wonder maybe if there was a research that lasted, a group of women did HIIT once a week for 2 years, and what would visceral adipose tissue look like? And so I think it's just maybe a question of volume as well, or frequency eventually adds up to the volume. So anything is going to be an improvement. I personally, I can't fit in 3 times, hit 3 times. And the other thing is that it's a lot to recover from, especially at the 40, 50 plus age. Like it's really taxing on the central nervous system, right?
It's a good
tiring
point. It is.
So, and you should have recovery after that. So that's also a way to think about how you're going to work it in. Like what's my day look like tomorrow? Okay, well maybe I'm only going to do like 5 intervals instead of 10 because I know what tomorrow looks like. Or there's a pile of snow that just fell and I've got a shovel today. So maybe I'm just going to, so it's, I think what you were asking also is exercise your schedule can change depending on what other demands there are in your day or the next day or what happened the day before. So HIIT for sure. Like if you have 3 times a week and you can have the recovery and that's the perfect life, like great. But I think you're going to be able to get a lot of benefit from just once a week, for sure.
I have another good point I think about HIIT. It doesn't feel great when you're hungover.
No, it does not.
No. So when you're working on your week, maybe Sunday morning is not your best HIIT time.
Except that
helps you recover, maybe.
It does.
True. Good point. It just feels really bad.
Not advocating for drinking and then doing HIIT.
But I think
Stacy's got some practical questions.
If you turn your devices off and don't really look at your score or your time, do a HIIT workout after you've had a night out or whatever. If you care about your scores and you're watching and tracking and looking at your heart rate, save it for a day when you have a good night's sleep.
That's right.
And you're going to
if that ever happens.
If that ever happens in your schedule, that is your next morning to go and do a HIIT workout.
Well, Nikki, one of the things I love, like you're talking about, here's what's recommended, but you're also talking about, let's be practical about our lives, right?
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with, I can't do my thing this week because of all the different reasons that get into your life.
Mm-hmm.
But if I do a stretch session for 5 minutes one day, if I run up and down the stairs for 5 minutes another day, like these all count, right? And we shouldn't be too upset with ourselves when we can't do it perfect. In fact, we shouldn't be upset at all.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a human nature to want to do something a certain way, but that we get in our own way by thinking like that. And just being able to, I love that you said it, like whatever the dosage is that's appropriate for your lifestyle that week, right?
100%.
There'll be times when
Yeah.
it is perfect and times when it's
Yeah.
not, and that's okay.
You have to be realistic. Like every time, if you ever, I'm sure you've also listened to coach podcasts and that sort of thing. And somebody like, what's the perfect program? And the answer is always, it depends. And
Right.
and what happened that week? So what I like to tell people is just, if you can't get your workout in, as you said it perfectly, if you can't get your workout in, just what can you get in? Do you have 5 minutes to do that warm up? And that's it? Great. Because the point is, like we were talking, I think you were trying to lead to that, is consistency. So if you just keep the habit consistent, this is for the long game. This isn't a 12-week transformation. This isn't like, I really want to have like bikini bod by August. Like that sells beautifully, but getting results in terms of your strength or body composition, it requires patience and consistency and a lot of kindness to yourself, and just doing what you can when you can. I mean, be honest with yourself too, right? There's days when you wake up and genuinely, this is it. I've got 10 minutes. That's all I can do. Whatever. If that continues to be a habit, maybe,
reevaluate, get your calendar out.
That's right. So then, but and then, when you can hit those workouts really well, hit them because life is going to happen. Like you can, I'm actually traveling in 2 weeks from now, so I'm actually going to not take my foot off the gas. I'm gonna make sure I get the most out of every workout for the next 2 weeks if I'm going on vacation, 2 weeks from now or something, because I know I'm gonna probably chill out a little bit, or maybe it's an active vacation, it won't be. So who knows? So the point is just like stay consistent, keep little habits, and that's what we know for strength training. That is the absolute key for getting results, is the consistency piece.
Longevity.
Yeah.
It's the longevity of the activity, less so about being perfect every week.
For sure.
Right.
Yeah.
More weeks.
Yeah.
Getting more weeks, essentially.
Yeah.
With these devices that we are all wearing, are you wearing anything? Oh, so you're doing Garmin.
I never take it.
Right? I love that. And
I'm addicted to it.
You have the Garmin, and he's taking a break from his ring. So I have the Ultra Human ring. Tim needs a break for some reason, which we could get into that. That's interesting too.
Yeah.
I do think that the biggest bonus of these devices is it is a slight daily pressure and a reminder, because we've all been in this industry a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And you've done assessments with people, as have we, where you'll ask them a question, you'll say, how active are you? And they'll be like, yeah, I'm pretty active. I'm moderately active. But if you really dug into it, they're not getting more than 10,000 steps a day. They perceive that they're active, but it's in a way being kind of hopeful about what's actually going on in their life.
Yeah.
And now we have these rings that give us these are your actual steps. This is your actual heart rate. This is really what you slept. I really hope that it doesn't stress people out. I hope that it encourages people to take a real look at, what's happening. Like, how are you using yours?
So exactly how you actually framed it. I like it because I am an active person, and I kind of am like, I just like being in motion, right? And so I will perceive that I've done more workouts a week or worked harder in a day than I actually do. And so, and I'm not like, I don't have like super high, I'm just like a normal person. So, so I do set like a step thing for myself to keep myself accountable. And I like that little like, oh great, I got
reached
there.
your goal.
Yeah. And then, I do like it for tracking some of my workouts. I don't rely on the data a lot. Like I try not to look at it for sleep or anything like that. But for accountability, it definitely helps. And then, thank you for the beautiful segue. So the calendar, like the old school calendar, even though I have my Garmin, I have like a desk calendar. And what I do is
paper.
Paper and pen.
What?
So, and I like, it's a bit obnoxious because it's so massive, but I will literally write in red strength, the days that I do strength, and then whatever, like I ran or I swam or it's because I will think I've done more than I did.
Mhm.
And then I look, I'm like, oh, okay. Like it feels like I was busy because not only because I'm also doing other like busybody things, right? So I am tired by the end of the day, but it might not necessarily because I did my strength workout. So I find that visual really helpful, but you don't have to write in exactly. You can have a little tiny calendar on the fridge and just like a check marks. Like, did you check mark? Like, did you do?
I love
Did you
this.
do a little? What did like? Just check. I worked out. It doesn't have to be. Oh, I did it for 5 minutes or I did it for 50. Like, it doesn't have to be anything like crazy. Just
So for the listeners, we have a 24 by 36 paper calendar on the table here, which is, and it doesn't matter what size it is,
You may
but
have never
it's
seen one of
impressive.
these
It's
before.
impressive.
If you're
But
under
at
20.
the end of a month, the benefit after the month is that you've looked and you're like, oh, when you write it down, it becomes more tangible.
yeah,
It's more rewarding.
for sure.
It's still great that your watch, gives you the claps and a little,
Yeah.
vibration when you achieve your target. That's nice. But this is visually rewarding. There's something different about it. It's like opening an album versus downloading a song.
Yeah, exactly.
It's something more
We're
talented.
putting a really positive spin on that.
Yeah.
So,
Journaling could be another thing that you do, right? And you could
Your
have,
logbook,
you
for
could
sure.
have a book. You
Yeah.
could have,
Yep.
because some people are getting back to pens and paper. I don't know
Nikki
if our
also
kids
brought an
ever
actual
will.
book.
She brought a book. Right. Like,
these are like,
this is just,
for the
we're taking a
listeners,
step
we
back
have
in
an actual
time.
book.
Such a-
We're very
It's
analog.
got-
It's 1995,
got a book
everyone.
with research in it.
And we're
too.
And it's
recording
brand,
this
it's brand
on
new.
Reel to
Who would
Reel.
have ever thought she bought a new book? These are good tools. It's funny, even our teenage athletes, I try to get them to journal. They suck at it so much. They want to put it into their stuff that they have in their computer. I don't even know what they're putting it into, but they're on there. They're probably just using it as an excuse because they're not allowed to have their phones at practice.
I'm just
They'll be
downloading
like,
it, coach.
Coach,
Yeah.
I'm journaling. I'm like, I need to actually see what they're doing. However, we know that tracking is good. So whether you do it through your device, through this beautiful calendar, through a journal, it all helps
For sure,
because
yeah.
we need to be realistic about what we're doing.
Yeah.
And then adding in this high intensity piece is super important for our health.
Yeah.
I think
for sure.
that's, kind of the bottom line is last time we talked a lot about like you have to have a strength component. Now this new research is saying we have to have a high intensity component, which is really, it was an important conversation for me. And it's funny because I'm doing it, my brain is thinking that the HIIT is interesting. I have obviously done that before, like running hills and stuff like that.
For sure.
I don't time it, but I like that kind of workout. That is interesting to me. Running a mile is 10 times harder. And my gut feeling is if we did a research study where you looked at people running a full mile over and over and over again, I do think you'll see results that are similar or even better. It's just not the kind of study that's happening. It's not easy.
No.
So
That's like the
it's-
Norwegian 4x4. Like, I don't
and
know
the
how fast
Norwegian
you-
4x4. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
There'd be brain development with that for sure because it's so difficult. Like it is mentally very, very hard to keep. Like if to get up to 1 minute, it's like, okay, well, I know it's done in 1 minute. And it's really 30 seconds, right?
Yeah.
Because it's the second
Exactly.
30
Yeah.
seconds. That's you're doing a
Make sure you're
Wingate.
buffering.
That's you're like, okay, now it's getting really
Yeah.
hard, but it's only 30 seconds.
Yeah.
When
30
you're
seconds
doing a
left.
mile,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
8 minutes of
It's miserable.
pain
That
tolerance.
That's pretty heavy.
But
Yes.
there's a for sure a brain development component of that where you're making your brain stronger for all sorts of tough stuff.
Well,
Yeah,
and
I think
it's
for sure.
interesting too, because sometimes I actually have to say to myself, I can do hard things when I'm on the treadmill doing the mile. And I know that we kind of talked about that with cold plunging and things like that, that there is a benefit to human beings to get through a difficult thing.
Yeah. And this is like, it's building capacity, right? So
Exactly.
if we don't keep pushing ourselves and in a workout or just like throughout the day intermittently, then we're just going to continue to decline. And then that's when the everyday tasks start to be really difficult. And then you're like, oh my God, I'm like, my body weight just carrying a laundry load up the stairs has now become really difficult. So the point is like, just to put a little bit of work in to push that capacity. So yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, exercise is inconvenient. Like those are all truths for sure. And there is some muscle soreness to be expected, but if we don't push that capacity, whether it's strength or cardiovascular or whatever, then we naturally decline. That's just what aging is, right? And so we want to push our capacity as much as we can in every day so that we can just keep in the green.
Keep feeling good.
Yeah.
And you brought up a good point about, it's a stage of life thing too. It can be. There's no way that when I was working and our kids were, say, 3, 5, 7 in those age ranges, there's no way I'm doing this because I couldn't manage it mentally because I was getting to work exhausted. Yeah. There's no way I'm getting to work exhausted, making it through a work day, going and changing into my workout clothes and doing a hard workout. Yeah. I think you're always so good at saying you have to be realistic about what's going to happen. Now, because our kids have moved out, they're older, they have driver's license, I'm not driving them around to arenas and things like that. All of a sudden, I've got the luxury of a bit more time where you can kind of try to get back to these things.
For sure.
And I think that if you're talking about a really busy person in those stages of life where you've just had a baby or it's just really busy or your work is really overwhelming, you're really looking at what's the minimum I can do to maintain.
Exactly.
And maybe I'm going to go down a little bit. That's okay. Because I think the other exciting piece about this research is that you can do it at any time, at any age, and you're still going to get the benefits from it. Like I feel drastically different from, say, a year ago when I started on this journey. And I'm sure that you do too. Your workouts are a lot better than they used to be. Yep. And it's because we have time. We're getting a full night's sleep.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and even with like the young female professionals that I see and they have kids at home and they're like exactly how you just described. They're just so time crunched and exhausted. So some of the things that I recommend, and if it's just on the weekend, if they only have the time, then when they're at the park with the kids and then you play tag. So there's yes, we can arm run faster than a 3-year-old probably, but you're still like, play with the kids at the playground. That kind of stop and start that's a form of interval training. And if you don't get up to like 9 out of 10, fine. You don't get up to 9 out of 10, but maybe you're maintaining some sort of capacity. Or if you've got that double stroller, like, holy mackerel, that's a lot of weight to push. And you've got a hill to like, then hit that hill hard. If that's like, if you got one hill on your walk to or from dropping those kids off, then go fast and hard. And that great. Like just doing what you can with what you've got with them. Like, learning how to go for long runs with kids in the stroller, like you're like, oh my God, I have to stop 600 times. And then I just like really bought into it. And I was like, actually, this is fine. I don't mind these rests. So it's like reassessing, like, what does the workout look like now? What do I have time for? How do I fit it in with the kids? And and
there's lots of options, which is great.
Yeah. You don't have to be like, I don't know,
skipping
put in a
rope.
box. Hopscotch, like the best. Skipping, skip. Oh my gosh, double dutch.
And you've
so
been
fun.
so great with the groups that you train, that you guide. It's all fitness-based stuff, and the community that comes with that. There's this whole other component that you're doing all this fun stuff, which makes getting there really easy. Yeah. Right? So when you're going to join, with yours,
going to see
absolutely.
Nikki. I can't wait.
But that's the attraction of having this fun group where you're doing some hard stuff. There's encouragement with it. I mean, CrossFit is incredibly hard, but it's super popular because of the community.
For sure.
People are doing their own thing within the context of this group. People cheering you on to same thing with yours. It's just the community makes a big, big difference around being able to get there. That solves the consistency problem.
Yeah.
And B, just like if we got to do something hard, you got some support from your group members.
You should be encouraged in that time. If you've spent
really
money
should.
to spend time with a coach or an instructor,
You really should.
like this is what I also talk to people where I'm like, if if they have a personal trainer or they're at a group fitness class, and like, it's their job to make you feel welcome and collaborate with
Such
you.
a good
like,
point.
so if you feel uncomfortable in a class, like that's not on you. Like if you're feeling that you are not doing a good job, like you gotta like, then maybe you find another class.
Find a new class.
Some people like that though. Some people, they need a different style.
They like the drill sergeant. There's
that's
absolutely, there's a reason that.
If they have the community, maybe. Because then they make fun of the person like yelling at them or something, right? Like I think that was, I get to see your group sometimes because I'll be in the ravine,
that's right, in the ravine.
And they walk by me and they're all so happy. So they're loving you for sure. I'm always jealous. I'm like, oh, I'm not having nearly as much fun as they are because I'm usually trudging fast to get to work or something like that. And it is such an important part of health. We're facing a bit of a loneliness crisis if you're looking at some of the new research. And of course, the media is taking that research and turning it into really exaggerated headlines. We've seen it time and time again. There's a reason marathon training is become so popular. It's because of the races and it's because of the community and it's having that common goal and meeting those people and you all sign up for a race together and you do it together. High Rocks, same thing. CrossFit, same thing. We're picking a big challenge as a group and we're all doing it together. And I think it's something that maybe the fitness industry we haven't documented it or we haven't studied it enough yet, but we know that it's there.
For sure.
We've all been on sports teams. We know that traveling with our team and competing with our team, I would say for most people, that is a highlight of your life, that it's really hard to gain that. We have people like the football players, they'll recap their games like for decades to come it gets better and better and they're still really close to, I'm just giving you a hard time, but you've heard it. And
I was amazing.
And they get better players the more they talk about it. There's something to be said for that, for being physical with friends, for going through a challenge with a group. I think that it's something that we need to lean into a little bit more.
Yeah, it's one of the things that we know about, particularly women, is that when we have community, that is another motivator for us to take part. So, yeah, you're like totally right. So, in the community is not only that connection, but also some accountability. One of the things that I continue to go back to, when you don't have something that's accessible to you, or there's something you want, you just like make it. So, for example, I'm lucky because I do have a network in my neighborhood, but I'm not a fast runner or whatever, like, blah, blah, blah. But I wanted to be able to run through the winter this winter, and I knew it would be easier for me to do it. So with other people. So I just created and it was like friendly in brackets, like this is a friendly community, non-competitive run group. But of course people perceive me as a certain way. And I'm like, I genuinely this is friendly. Just come out at 6:30, this place, all age, not all ages, but it was a female community. That's it. Just come out, run, walk, who cares? Here's the route. Do it at your own pace, but at least we're all getting out there and starting. It's been great. I managed to go run through the winter. I created it for myself.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's because you needed to be accountable.
Yeah. And
We've
it was
done that
so
before.
fun.
We've done that before. I remember when I first started teaching spin class, probably 2 decades ago, I thought, I could get another couple cardio workouts in. I'm sure tons of fitness instructors think that way. Yeah. How do I get a few more workouts in a week, and why not get paid for them?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Show up. Yeah. You have to be there.
Yeah.
It's great. It's
really
really
accountability
smart.
when you're
this is
coaching.
You are doing the physical act is good for you, right? The community side of it. So the Harvard study of adult development, this is a quote from strong, positive relationships are the most consistent predictor of happiness, longevity, and physical health.
There it is.
So it supercharges it when you're doing it in this movement environment.
Yeah.
Right. So you can go for dinner, have drinks,
Yep.
steak, and whatever else. That has a positive impact as long as those relationships are positive relationships,
Yeah.
right? Because that's a really key element. You can't do it if your relationships are toxic.
Yeah.
That's
That's
bad, right?
nobody
So-
wants to go to that dinner.
Yeah. But if you're now pairing that community with physical activity,
Yeah.
it's like you've just supercharged it.
Yeah. 100%. This is one of the things like Stacy and I have gone for walking meetings before. And I love that. Like when I am going to meet anybody, like I might recommend like, let's go for a walk or something like that. Like if they can, and you can't always, it's not always practical, but yeah, it's just like having movement and connection is just nice. And also when you're moving, you have the thought processes are just so much more creative
much better.
because of what's happening in the brain.
Yeah,
So
vasodilation,
a
blood
great-
flow.
Great resource to follow is Genwell,
Mhm.
GENWELL. So
Okay.
they're a community, they're actually now a registered charity. So they
Oh, cool.
presented to us, I think coming out of pandemic.
Mhm.
And this guy, he retired. He's like, I just want to spread this idea of community. And the time that he did it was essential because we had all been
Locked in our
prevented
houses.
from
yeah.
like physically congregating.
Okay.
So that's it came from a very
that's so neat.
natural
I'm gonna
place,
look
but
at it, yeah.
but there's so much research around this
Yeah.
now. So anybody
And
that
people looking
Yeah.
for it. And I
Find your
do
people.
Yeah.
I do think that people are trying to get together in healthier ways. We're seeing
I do too.
trends
Yeah,
that
I
way.
do
We're
too.
seeing things
Yeah.
with saunas and spas, and we're seeing
cold
people
plunge
travel and the
and-
cold
yeah.
plunge. And I think that it's super important and super smart to do it. I also think what you did is really smart too, where you said, I want to run. I have a need, and you made it happen. And sometimes people feel kind of guilty. Like I've talked to clients before where they're like, why do I always have to be the one to plan or to organize? And I said, you know what? It's fine. Lean into that.
Yeah.
Because at the end of your lifetime, you won't regret that you brought that group together, or
Yeah.
you won't regret that you planned that thing.
Yeah.
But if you're sitting by yourself alone watching Netflix for night after night because you didn't want to be the one pushing people together, you will regret that.
For sure. Yeah.
So I think that those two ideas, and then when you're with your friends, throw some HIIT in.
Yes.
Let's
Racing
have
to the
a
top.
race from this telephone pole to, there's not even telephone poles. Let's have a race from this street light lamp to that, so throw that in there.
Yeah.
And then then you're killing it. You got everything.
So one of the things that I found like frustrating when I was really on this learning journey, like starting about over 20 years ago, sometimes when the research is like, it's on sedentary people or it's on this, and you're like, I don't see myself. Like, how does that affect me if I'm training for, like you mentioned, a marathon or a triathlon? Like I train for these events, and now how do I incorporate HIIT when I'm already doing 18 hours of training on top of that, or maybe like 6 hours of training, like depending on what the event is. So I just want to make sure for those people, they already have a schedule that's created. Likely, if it's been created even by like a bot, they will likely have intervals in there anyway. That is, I mean, this is not new ideas. This interval training has been going on for like ever. And like fartlek training, like FARTLEK, that is the term for just like how it's speed play, have fun. Like that's interval training. Anyway, my point is that when if you already have a program that you're trying to follow, and say you're like, oh, I can't make that day. You can always switch days. You can, work out when you can and that sort of thing. Same thing applies. But you can still just, whatever is in your calendar, if there's not enough HIIT, put it in there. You can take a little bit away from the long endurance one, and you can
add some HIIT.
You can add some
or
HIIT.
start with it.
Yeah. And especially for older, like for masters athletes with the tissue recovery, like I would argue, like drop one of those super long ones, do a HIIT workout, do
Instead.
it hard,
Mhm.
and like be done with it. And then you have like, a little bit more recovery and tissue tolerance and that sort of thing. So
Recovery
anyway.
is key from these workouts, and that could be a whole other topic for us to discuss.
Oh, for sure.
Next season.
Next season. It's because, the recovery is important as you get older.
Oh gosh.
It's crucial, because otherwise it's gonna feel awful.
Yeah. I used to wave off my gals like at the end. I was like, okay, don't forget to stretch when you get home. And now I'm like, no, lie on your mat.
Yeah,
let's go.
We're doing it together.
Yeah. And again,
really
good for you too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nikki, great tips. Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you so much for having me
with
back.
us.
It's always
Thanks for
so
the
nice.
Always a
massive
pleasure.
calendar, bringing that. It's awesome.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Everyone should get them.
Everyone should get
We
one.
should probably put it.
I'm kind of really jealous
totem
of
ones.
this. Yeah,
Yeah.
we could brand them.
My
They're
kids actually
awesome.
do use them.
Yeah.
Good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Big score.
they
and
don't track their fitness on it like
Yeah.
I do.
No.
all kidding aside, like writing these things down,
Yeah.
it's meaningful. And the one thing I would say, when you keep these from historical records, because my mom kept all of our annual calendars,
No
like she'd
way.
write all the stuff on it.
Oh yeah.
And so my sisters have them somewhere.
That's
So
very
we could
cool.
literally go back to
Christmas, she'd give
1980
you a
and
new
look
one.
through what happened in 1980.
Such a cool idea.
That's
know,
really neat.
Yeah, because
Oh,
that's
cool.
where all the stuff was recorded, going to Uncle Rich's house,
Yeah.
whatever else. Yeah. It was
Oh, that's
interesting.
really
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, I usually just tear it off and throw it out, but
So,
Maybe
well,
wallpaper. You're going to
Yeah.
start putting around. Look at what I did this year. I'm awesome.
that's awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah. We look forward to having you back next season.
Well, thank you. Thanks so much for having me. Honestly,
Thank
it was so
you.
fun. Yeah, thanks.
It's always a blast.
Thanks for listening to the Totem Wellness Podcast. Please follow us on Apple, Google, or Spotify and leave a 5-star review and comment. Subscribe to us on our YouTube channel, and please spread the word to family and friends.